Hello, and welcome back to my channel, my loves. I am so excited to chat with you about something today that has been weighing so heavily and dear to my heart, and that has been creating a life-giving home. What I mean by this is really focusing on how I'm showing up in my home, creating a space for my children, for my family, for myself to thrive in. I want my kids to feel safe and to feel grounded and to feel joy and love within this home. And I really had to ask myself recently if I am providing that, if I am creating that. Join me in some ways that I have been working at bringing more life into my home. The first and the biggest thing I feel is so important in creating a life-giving home is focusing on yourself. I know, but it truly starts with us. And something that really shifted my perspective lately was something that I read in my book called Desperate by Sarah May and Sally Clarkson. And they talked about this concept of giving to your children from a place of strength versus a place of weakness. And I don't know why, but that really resonated with me, of the importance that I give to my children from a place of strength, meaning that I am filling up my cup first. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my health, my mindset. I am going into the day with an open heart. Something that I really didn't understand until recently was that I have been very resistant to my role as a stay-at-home mom. It wasn't something I was very conscious of until recently, but maybe you can relate on some level, and if you can, please let me know in the comments. But I didn't necessarily go into being a stay-at-home mom willingly. I honestly think I went into entrepreneurship 7 years ago hoping to just create time freedom, flexibility in my schedule, knowing and anticipating that when I became a mother, I was going to need to be at home. I was going to need to be the one in my marriage and in my family to sacrifice and to take charge of raising my children. And that is true. That is true. But I also didn't realize that so much of my resistance to that role was because I attributed so much of my value to income and providing for my family in that way, that everything else seemed to be not as important. And I had no idea how much that was poisoning how I was showing up as a mom. Because in the back of my mind, in my heart, I didn't feel enough. I didn't feel like this role was enough. And so really taking pride in my role as a mother, really understanding the sanctity of being a mom and what a huge role we play in stewarding our children and the people that they are going to become in this world and in future generations to come. It's truly the best work that I will probably ever do in my life, and it wasn't until I had this mindset shift of really taking pride in my role as a mom that I really started to understand the importance of pouring into myself. And that also includes taking some time away when I need to, making sure that I am advocating for myself, asking for help and support, whether it's from my husband or my mom or a neighbor or a friend or a babysitter, that I get a couple hours to myself each week just to do something that brings me joy, that fills up my cup, whether that means leaving the house and going to a class, painting, getting outside in my garden, whatever it is that my heart is longing for, that I give that to myself so that I can go back and give to my kids from a place of strength instead of weakness. And this leads me to my second point. Do things throughout your day, every day, that bring you joy, whether it's lighting a candle or curling your hair, baking some bread, trying a new recipe, getting outside, decorating something different in your home, organizing a drawer. Do something that boosts your day, something that brings you joy, because that joy is going to spill over to your children, because they're going to see you happy, and that's what creates that safety and that sense of calm in our children that we crave and that we all long for. Another element of bringing life into your home is creating something every day. Now, for me, I love baking. I love baking bread, and every single day I am usually working on some sort of recipe, some sort of creation in the kitchen. But for you, it might be painting something, or it might be doing a craft with your children. You know, it's springtime here in upstate New York, and you might be already outside working on some landscaping or planning for your garden. The act of creation in and of itself is literally creating life. You're bringing new energy into your body, into your soul, and into your home. One of my favorite memories of my childhood is when my mom would bake bread, and that smell that would flow throughout our house, and I would be so excited to sit in the kitchen with her and have a first slice of warm bread. And just times that I would bake with my mom, or I would be out stacking wood with my father. Having these moments of transformation where we're able to see something come into a new form, or to see something beautiful come to life, is so vital for us to bring life into our home and into our daily practice. Another way that I love to bring life into my home is mixing old in with new. One of the things that I have had so much fun with is antiquing and thrifting and taking my time curating pieces that add not just purpose and functionality, but character and warmth. Things that bring me joy when I look at them. Things like wicker baskets and my gallery wall. So many of those baskets came from Facebook Marketplace and estate sales, and it took me months and months to find them, but my vision was there, and I knew that once it was completed, it was going to be such a statement in my home and going to bring so much warmth and character, and I am so happy with it. Still to this day, it brings me so much joy to have that backdrop and have that view of my dining room, from the living room, from any point in my home. Other things that I've loved is my laundry baskets. You know, you might have seen that my big wicker laundry basket that I found at an antique shop for $25. We all have to do laundry, but it makes the act of doing laundry so much more enjoyable for me and almost feel like a work of art, because I get to carry that load of laundry in these beautiful vessels. Something that has been so heavy on my heart lately is just the amount of waste in our world. And let me tell you, I am so not perfect in this area of my life, and I have felt this conviction growing in me over the last few months, over the last couple of years. And one of the ways that I am striving to do better is with repurposing old instead of buying new. And one of the ways that I have committed to doing that is with decorating my home. I don't want to just go rush out and buy something just to fill the space or to meet a deadline. Like, there is no deadline. I don't need to make my life look picture perfect. I can be in the in-between of this, room renovation, and I can still find joy in it. And I have found that has helped me bring so much contentment and happiness into my days as a homemaker, because I'm okay with my home being in a state of progress and not perfection. Some of my favorite pieces are things that came to me free, were given to me, like this desk behind me. It's not just a desk, but a sewing machine my husband brought home for me as a surprise that he found at an estate sale for $20. I have longed to learn how to sew my entire life. My mother is a exceptionally talented sewer. I have always envied and longed to learn that trade from her. And then out of the blue, universe brings me this sewing machine. And I am not going to lie, I did not appreciate this when I received it. But I can't tell you how much joy that this sewing machine brings me every morning. To be able to have my candle and a vase, and to sit here, have a place to set my computer, to be able to envision myself in here working on pieces and creating things in my home makes me so happy and excited to learn something new. My husband and I were out looking for sheds out behind our home, and in the property behind us is an abandoned trailer that the builders of our home lived in while they were working on building this home. And so for years, I've never been in this trailer. I've seen it, and finally, I asked my husband to take me inside this trailer, and lo and behold, did I find baskets. I found the most unique baskets just sitting there rotting away. These are things that I have never even seen at a store, at maybe a Home Goods, but seriously, I was so thrilled. Look at this thing, the detail and the edging and throughout, I was so excited. And this piece is probably by far my favorite. I just love the shape of it and how unique it is. I brought them home, I gave them a good shower, and I am so excited they've got some imperfections, but like these are things that add so much character to my home, and they didn't even cost me a dime. Things that we are always looking for, you know, vases and vases or whatever. But like some of the best things are these unexpected treasures that we find. It's so cool to be a collector of pieces that bring character and a story that you can tell your kids someday. You know, yeah, you know, your father and I went into an abandoned trailer and found these old wicker baskets. You know what I mean. One of the other things that I'm loving is bringing in more color into my home through artwork. So I found recently these gorgeous frames with these vintage wildflower prints inside of them, and I just cannot get over, like, these things are solid, and I am so excited to add these to my gallery wall. You know, throughout my day when I'm in the living room and chaos is around me, to be able to look at something beautiful with so much character, it just makes me so happy. You know, take a trip to your local thrift store or an antique shop that you maybe have driven by 15 million times, and stop in and see what you find. Something small that brings so much life and character into your home is having plants. I'm honestly shocked at just how much pleasure it brings me to have plants around my home. And I understand if you are a brand new mom, this is something that I really didn't start working at until I had my second son. So don't feel pressured to, you know, run out and fill your home with a bunch of plants. But you know, I realized that every time I was gifted a plant, that having something in my kitchen that I could watch grow and bloom added so much happiness that I didn't realize I was even missing. Some of the plants that I have in my home are my fiddle leaf fig trees. Just with purchasing one fiddle leaf fig, I have produced 3 more trees that I have spread throughout my home. And I've just slowly been adding to it. I have this pothos here in my front entryway in this hanging plant. I have a jade tree in my son's room. And I just encourage you to plant the seed, put it out there to your husband, to your family, to your friends, that the next holiday or birthday that you ask for a plant that maybe you've been longing for or that sparks your interest, and let me know, because I really have found it to be such a source of joy in my day. And the last thing that has really been helping me bring more life into my home has been caring for my home. Treating my home like a living, breathing thing. Caring for my home, whether that's vacuuming where all the dirt and the crumbs have collected, mopping my wooden floors that have taken a beating from toys being dropped on them. The more that I embrace my season of motherhood, of having little boys and little children that are gonna make messes and are going to cause nicks in the floor and spill things, embrace the fact that my home is going to get messy, but that I can take pride in taking care of it and refresh our space so that I can go into mothering with the sense not only filled my cup, but I filled up my home. I have showed it appreciation. I've showed it gratitude for housing us and for giving us a space to rest, to play, for being our haven through all seasons of life. I've really found this to just be so helpful for me to just take pride in my homemaking again. That these little things of wiping the counters or cleaning the windows or sweeping up after the morning breakfast rush, all of these little things not only bring life into my home, but they really give me a sense of joy and a sense of pride in my home once again. So I just want to encourage you, wherever you are at in your motherhood journey, that by sharing this with you today, that maybe it inspires you to try something new to bring more life into your home, into your days as a mother, because you deserve it. You are worthy, and you are doing incredible work here, and I hope you never forget it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.